my God, a new Chris Dangerfield video just came out. I can't wait to watch it.
Hello people. Oh, it's been a long time since we went to the den. Exciting stuff. I haven't seen this. It's called Convince Me and I'll give you 2.5 million. When? Give me that opportunity. Anyway, roll VT.
Good morning, my name's Stephen Voller. I'm the founder of B Automobiles. We are an electric car company. And
Right, I don't know how old this is, and I'm starting to think now I should have looked, but it's interesting that it's an electric car company. What I'll do, I'll find out how old this is and I'll put it up there now, just to get a bit more context around electric cars and where we stand with those now and when this video was made.
here today to raise £2.5 million for 30% of the equity. Now, if I can persuade you to invest
2.5 mil for 30%, so he's valuing his company at just short of 8 million, I think. 8 mil. Now, it might be worth that, but to be worth that, you're going to need one of two things. Incredible revenue, incredible profit. I mean, you can have a company where the revenue's 5 mil a year, but if the profit's £5 a year, that revenue counts for nothing. Or a patent, because a patent for something good, you know, the potential to earn from a patent alone, you know, just buy the patent off him, you know, see you later you, but we'll certainly have that, which is kind of why people patent things. So a valuation of 8 million, he's got to be selling a lot of these cars, or he's got to have a lot of orders or some incredible patents or a combination of all of those. I'm going to guess he hasn't, because why is he on telly asking for 2.5 million?
today, I can leverage an additional 7.5 million from government funding, which is there to support the car industry.
Whoa, so this is something I know nothing about. If he can get an additional 2.5 mil, so he's obviously got some money from somewhere, the government will give him 7 mil. I'm going to take it back just to get that whole context. That's Theo's face. I mean, I don't know what dragons are on this, but I'm going to guess that's Theo's face when he said, I want 2.5 mil. I mean, these people are rich, but they're rich because they know how to organise their finances, and lending someone 2.5 mil, that's the sort of face I think anyone would have.
Persuade you to invest today, I can leverage an additional 7.5 million from government funding, which is there to support the car industry. For the last 7 years, I've been running a battery and fuel cell company. Now, I listed that company on the stock exchange in 2005. And since then, I've been thinking hard about how we can apply the battery technology to make an appealing family car.
There's something not quite right about this bloke. It was all running smooth, but now he's talking about the product. It's very subtle, but he seems to be getting the rhythm of his words, his cadence has slightly changed, which is not necessarily deception, but it makes me suspicious that he's now going to go into an area where essentially he's going to sell something. And sales, that's not normal conversation. It's not normal monologues. You're trying to convince someone. You know, as someone who's written sales copy for 20 years, it's a strange old business. You know, convincing people that you can sell them a solution to a problem they didn't know they had, for instance. That's sort of at the heart of most sales copy. You're just browsing the internet one night, a little bit bored, maybe you're hungover, and 3 days later a catapult is delivered and you're like, oh yeah, I just thought I'd buy a catapult. Oh. And this is really unappealing because he's now trying to breathe. So he's obviously had some kind of training. And it's like, if you feel yourself getting nervous, and, you know, not only being on telly, not only, it's a hostile environment, they make it hostile. They would have probably, you know, like you have a warm-up comedian, if you go and see a TV show live, you have a warm-up comedian. I wouldn't be surprised in the least if they have like a stress up 30 minutes before they go on. You know, they don't want people going on there relaxed and just, you know, just like that, as if they were talking to their mates. They want them going on there under pressure. You know, having those people, having the dragons in a row there, sitting down, nice leather chairs, nice bespoke suits. They even have all that cash stacked up next to them. That's like a barrier of success. And you're on the other side of that. And those lights will be hot. There's things that directors can do to mitigate that, which is why, you know, in Hollywood movies, you don't see people pouring with sweat all the time. I wouldn't be surprised in the least if the director says, can you get those lights any hotter, please? So anyway, he's been told if he feels a bit stressed to breathe, just breathe. Have you ever tried to breathe when you're stressed? You get this.
So we can make an appealing family car. And I've assembled an awesome team from BMW.
Right, that's interesting that Peter there just done that little cutaway there. What it means is, what the hell happened there? Are we just going to continue as if that didn't happen? And this is quite interesting. I learned this as a stand-up comic. When something happens out of your control, call it. Call it. If you ignore it, it just gets bigger and the audience start getting uncomfortable. I had a comedian friend call me the other day. He, well, no one calls anyone anymore, but we chatted on WhatsApp. And he said, listen, I've been invited on this podcast. They want to interview me, and I agreed to it. He said, and then I listened to some of their podcasts. And he said, it sounds to me that their guests are just, they just talk over them and essentially take the piss out of them, and, you know, they're more like a prop. And I was like, right. And he said, you know, I think he just wanted to vent some sort of frustration and fear. But I said, come on, man. And he's a more experienced comedian than I am. I said, just call it. Just call it. If that starts to happen, you know, you don't have to be angry and go, right, I just want to say that this. No. Just sort of say, well, at some point when they say, how are you getting on? You can just say, well, you know, it's nice to be laughed at for 10 minutes solid by two people who sent a very nice email inviting me on to, you know, just call it. This fella should have just said, he said, you'll have to excuse me, this is a very strange situation for me, I'm not used to it, and I just had to take some breaths there. Brilliant. And that, you've actually turned a negative into a positive because you've been honest. And you've not only been honest, but you've done the best you can in the situation. You've shown them that under pressure, you can work out something to put it right. And so that's why Peter was just a bit, hey, what? We're just going to pretend that didn't happen. And so it's not good now. It's not that bad. It doesn't mean he's not going to get the money, but, you know, such things they're clusters. There might be another thing, and then another thing, another little thing, another little thing. On the whole, it's not bad, but we put those few things together, and it's just, I'm not feeling this. See you later. Hello, people. Just an annoying interruption to let you know I'm also a writer. I write literary fiction. My Substack's been really successful. Had about 100,000 reads, got a few thousand subscribers. It's free as well. So the link's the first one in the description if you fancy giving that a go. I'd appreciate it. Now back to the Dragon's Den.
Car. And I've assembled an awesome team from BMW, from McLaren and from Lamborghini with design expertise to make a car like this possible. In the past, I've raised over £40 million for companies, and I've invested £500,000 of my own money in this business so far to make it possible. And I passionately believe that if we produce an appealing car, then we can sell it as a mass market vehicle.
It's kind of interesting when he's talking about what he knows, what he's passionate about, what he's interested in. I mean, this is a completely different bloke to the bloke, you know, that it seemed out the blue, but it was when he started talking about to try and make a family car. He's not confident about that. He doesn't necessarily believe it. Again, it's not necessarily deception, but he's not, what's the word I'm looking for? He's not passionate about that aspect of this industry. You know, maybe as a youngster he was into fast cars and, you know, he just mentioned McLaren, Lamborghini, you know. And then when he started talking about family cars, it sort of caught him out, because then he was having to rely on script rather than rely on passion.
In the first instance, the car will perform like a conventional car. It'll accelerate very well. We have a twin dual motor design which is unique to us. We file patents which cover 32 different aspects of safety within the vehicle. Now I believe...
Whoa, what's that syrup about? I mean, is that a syrup, or did he just go into the hairdresser and said, can you make it look like I'm wearing a wig, please? Come on, Duncan. You've got enough going for you to not have to worry about a simple ageing process.
With your help, the time is right to create a new green car brand and make the UK car industry great once again. Thank you very much.
Right, my thoughts initially. What an industry to get into. You know, the competition. The companies that have been around for decades, the money behind them, the branding. You know, kids know about Mercedes, kids know about Porsches, kids know about Rolls Royce. You know, kids know about cars because they're so woven into the fabric of our everyday existence. You know, you've got to brand that. You know, most products released to market cost less than the marketing spend. Certainly the branding spend. You know, if you want to get the name of your product woven into the culture, not only is it a huge cost, but you've got to get it right. It's got to work. And the way we brand products, the way we create a brand identity, that's changing all the time. Why? Because the context is changing all the time. Email marketing is still the best way to sell products on an e-commerce website. But get it wrong, and it will backfire spectacularly, because people have got email fatigue. You open your emails, 10% off, 20% off, 5% off. Yeah, when I want something, I'll come to you. You've got to get that subject line working. I've said this before, but I will repeat it. But there are people who get paid millions for writing email subject lines. You know, 5 or 6 words. Because if you're a company like Apple, and you've got a mailing list of like 500 million people. Look at the difference between a subject line that 5% of people open to a subject line that 25% of people open. So paying the writer of that $1 million is petty cash, essentially.
Asking the Dragons for £2.5 million clearly affected Stephen Voller. It's by far the largest amount asked for in the Den. In return, he's offering 30% equity in his new electric car business, B Automobiles. Peter Jones wants to know more about Stephen's credentials.
And that's another hurdle. That's another wall to climb. B. I mean, come on. I'm just thinking of SEO in and SEM in B. Okay, good luck.
Potentials.
Stephen, I'm Peter.
Hi.
Before I get on to the actual car, I just want to
Call
talk
it.
about your background a little bit. So what have you done to give your pitch credence about your personal level of success?
Prior to forming the battery and fuel cell company, I worked for Netscape in the internet business. I was the UK managing director, and then raised 26 million of private equity for an internet services company.
And the result?
That company's still trading and doing very well.
Can you quantify that well?
It's now profitable.
To the tune of?
I believe that it makes around £4 million a year.
You've said a few good things about raising £40 million for companies. Out of that 40 million that you've raised, how much and what's been the return on that investment to the people that stumped the cash?
That's a very difficult question to answer honestly without approximating it. I mean, I'll be very interested to see where he goes with this.
Considerable.
Looking for a number, really. Have you got?
There's been over several different businesses, but most of the people that have been involved have made more than 4 or 5 times their money.
So give me the last one. You've got a listing in 2005 of your company.
Yes.
How much have you made from that?
I made about £500,000, which I've reinvested into the B company.
It's a solid start for Stephen. He's revealed a convincing track record, and James Kahn is eager to find out more.
Carney!
Stephen, I'd love to invest in a car that's going to make a difference, that's going to improve the planet. And I do think the product that's available on the market at the moment isn't very attractive. I mean, they're very poorly spec'd. And, you know, to me, on the surface, it sounds like a very attractive proposition. If you can convince me that this is going to work, I'll give you the £2.5 million.
Well, thank you.
So what price are you able to produce the car?
It's interesting that they've named this video "Convince Me and I'll give you the £2.5 million," and there was a little cut then, a cutaway to what, as if that's a big deal. But that's what this show is. This show is "Convince Me and I'll give you the money." That's all it is. I mean, yeah, it's the most they've ever had, but is that really shocking? You know, continue to pitch. That's sort of fair enough, I think. But this is theatre. This is theatre. This isn't reality TV.
We're able to produce the car for about £7,000 at a quantity of 1,000 a month. So we would plan to sell it at the price of about £12,000.
OK, and who's your main competitor in that range, in the electric market?
Well, there really aren't many electric cars on the market today.
Right, so this is well before Elon Musk. This is well before that. So there's no one else selling electric cars. But over the horizon, there's a little company called Tesla.
This, from a sizing point of view, this will be like the Galaxy, will it?
It'd be like a Mercedes A-Class or an Audi A2.
OK, and what is it that you can do that they can't do, that they're spending 10 times the amount of money, and according to you, getting it wrong?
What we're doing is designing a car from the ground up that takes advantage of all the electrical technology which is now available for these new types of cars. And this really is a new way of making cars. I've got an experienced team that can do it in a no-nonsense way.
See, that's just a palaver. What is that? We're building it. I mean, ask yourself, do you know what that means in that context? We're building this car from the ground up. What, literally? You start at the bottom? Is that an issue of gravity? That's just sales talk. It means nothing. And he's got people that can do it at less price, which in the dragons at this point are thinking, sure, I believe you that you can do it at a smaller cost. But what they really want to know is what's being sacrificed to keep the price down. Because there will be something. There will be many things, which is why we don't know about B electric cars in 2025. Let me know in the comments if you do, actually. Anyone here drive a B electric car?
Impressive stuff from the experienced entrepreneur.
No, it wasn't.
But Theo Paphitis thinks he's discovered a fundamental flaw.
The car industry is in mega turmoil. The sort of money that you're asking for here doesn't even cover the audit fees of some of those companies. Never mind the legal fees they spend. They're all working like nuts at the moment to develop new alternative energy vehicles. And you're going to do it all for 2.5 plus, you said 7.5 million from government. £10 million would have you where?
We would have the car fully designed and tested and through its EU certification.
And right, so what is a business? It's taking a product to market. So designing something and building it, okay, yeah, you could probably do that for 10 mil. I don't know anything about cars. Taking it to market, we get back to branding. That's why it's called marketing. And you're competing with people who've got so much more money. Like Theo just said, an audit is going to cost you 7 mil. You know, it's it is a shame, actually. It's a shame, but that without all of the parts of what a business requires to function, to turn the engine, excuse my simile, you need all of the parts, not just one. And it feels to me like he's got one. He's got the object. He's got the commodity. Okay.
And all the setup ready to put it into production.
In what period of time?
2 years.
In 2 years. And your competitors in the meantime, who are already got all sorts of alternative energy vehicles out there at the moment, are they going to stand still for 2 years, waiting for you?
No, they're not, Theo, but we believe that we can compete with them because of our unique design and unique approach to our...
So that sales talk, we can compete with them because of our unique design and unique approach. That sales talk is another way of him saying, I believe our technology is at least 2 years ahead of the competition. Because if it isn't, this is a complete waste of time. Like Theo said, are the other companies standing still? You know, in these days when it was all, the electric cars were sort of bubbling up into the sort of communal consciousness of Western civilization, people wanted to nail it. People wanted to get there first. They saw money in it. And he can get it done in 2 years. Well, what are they going to do in 2 years? So he believes that he's 2 years at least ahead in terms of his technology. Would I risk 2.5 mil on that if I had it? No. Unless he could prove it. But then how could you prove something like that without then ringing up Mercedes or whoever? Can I have a look at your technology? Where are you? Where do you reckon you'll be in 2 years? You're not going to get access to that. So it's a guess. And 2.5 mil is too much money for anyone on the back of a guess.
It's about your unique design and
compete with them because of our unique design and unique approach to our car.
Tell us about your unique design and unique approach.
We have a number of new and innovative design features about the car. One of them is sound generators at the front of the back. Outside of schools, for example,
already exists.
It's not desirable.
Already, sound generators already exist. Next, what else is unique?
We have a permanent 3G connection in the car.
I mean, really? We've got Wi-Fi. Okay, what? No other car manufacturer can get that sorted for their next run by next month.
A permanent 3G connection.
So that you can...
You got a mobile phone in the car?
In 2 years, people will be wanting 4G, and then another 2 years, 5G. You've got a mobile phone in the car.
Effect, yes.
OK,
but
try again. What's unique?
the car will email you and text you when it...
It's, you know, this is someone he's not... This is why I think we got the deep breaths at the beginning, because when it comes to the nuts and bolts of what he's got, I think he already knows this is a failed project. This is a last-ditch attempt. You know, I can imagine him in that boardroom when they said to him, look, why don't you try Dragon's Den? That's another 2 mil. Then the government will give us 7. It at least might get us out of this hole. You know, we can pay what we owe, we can claim bankruptcy, and we can, you know, still pay our mortgages for a couple of years. I mean, this is your car will email you. I mean, emails are sort of on their way out. I talked to you earlier about email fatigue. While they still are one of the best ways of marketing e-commerce, you know, I mean, what now is it? WhatsApp, X? Has it got X? Can I just say turn on X? Has it got ChatGPT working in it? Grok, you know.
It needs servicing. The car...
It's like he said. It's like he said, you can build your own homepage, and where you drive, it will map that so people can visit your website and they can see what journeys you've been on, which is exciting, isn't it?
Unique.
The car will email you and text you when it needs servicing. The car will accommodate 6
Give me
people.
some technological innovation, not gizmos that already exist. What is your USP? Don't roll out all the things that everybody else...
On the off chance, USP is unique selling point. Yeah, tell me something that distinguishes this from the others. And again, it needs repeating, and is going to maintain its unique selling point in the 2 years it's going to take you to manufacture them.
has got. What's your USP?
He hasn't got one.
Exchangeable battery packs.
It's not new. Every car company I've seen discussing electric cars has talked about exchangeable battery packs. You've got nothing, have you?
We have.
Yeah, he's right. There isn't. This is a failed company. He's sunk a lot of money into it, a lot of other people's money into it, and this is just sort of stumbling at the end of a failed project. And he knew that. And he knew at the beginning, it sort of came out of nowhere, didn't it, that breathing? He started thinking, oh, this will be all right, no problem. And then the truth hit him that these people aren't idiots and they're going to see through him. And he sort of had what was essentially like an anxiety attack, which is actually just anxiety. There's no attack. You're just anxious because you're going to try and pull the wool over these people's eyes. And what they particularly like on Dragon's Den is exposing people for that, because it's drama, it's conflict, it's more theatre.
Other than a dream, exchangeable battery packs. You've got nothing, have you?
We have.
Other than a dream.
We've got a lot of technology aspects.
Stephen, you're going to come to market in 2 years' time with a car that's behind the times. Well, you won't be coming to market because you haven't got enough money. You've got no technological uniqueness about it. And I'm being harsh with you because I want you to take away from this a reality check. You've got nothing here other than an ambition and a dream, whilst admirable, foolish.
I think he knew that already. That's my take on it.
I'm out.
Thank you.
Unable to satisfy an incredulous Theopaphitis, Stephen loses his first dragon. Deborah Meaden is now ready to have her say.
The only thing that stands between you and you losing a fortune and losing everybody else's fortune is my hope that you don't get the funds to do this. And very rarely do I say to somebody, I hope you don't get the funds to do this, but I really hope you don't, because you are going to waste your money your funds and everybody else's funds trying to get into a marketplace where there are many, many other people much better placed than you to take advantage of that marketplace. And even here today, you're failing to explain why you're in a better position. For that reason, I'm out.
Thank you.
Stephen,
Interesting. Let's have a look at his face and I'll try and get a pause on it.
For that reason, I'm out.
Thank you.
There's a little bit of contempt there. Contempt is one of the few micro expressions where it's not symmetrical. He's up one side, and look at his eye as well up the top there, slightly hidden by his glasses. But that isn't a man who's annoyed. That isn't a man who's frustrated. That isn't a man who thinks, no, you're not seeing it. That's a man who's been caught out. That's a man who's been rumbled. Let's watch that old little bit again, and just when you see him, after hearing what Meaden said, if you truly believed in your product, you'd come back with, well, actually, bosh, 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 bosh. But he just sort of, yeah, you know, that's when you're lying to your mate about something that happened last night, and he goes, was it what? It was exactly like that, and you're like, no, not quite. That's what that face is. Let's have a look.
Why you're in a better position. For that reason, I'm out.
Thank you.
Stephen, I don't get it. It's like, you know, you come along and you seem quite an intelligent man, and you stand there and you pitch for £2.5 million to come out with a car, which, as Theo says, will be out of date by the time it comes out. I think it's crazy. I'm out.
Thank you.
3 dragons out, and Stephen's pitch is unravelling. But will an initially interested James Caan throw him a 2.5?
He wasn't interested at all. He just said, convince me, I'll give you the money. I mean, you'd say that to anyone, wouldn't you? If someone said, look, I can make you a fortune if you can give me 2 mil. Yeah, well, go on then. If you can convince me, I'll give it to you. That's virtually an everyday conversation for these people. But, you know, I get it. They've got to entertain. And don't forget, this pitch, we only see like 10 minutes. But that bloke would have been standing there for about an hour and a half. These are just the best stroke worst parts of that whole thing.
£1 million lifeline.
Let's just look at this geezer again. At this point, he just wants to go home. He's been rumbled, you know, the game is up. He's now going through that, bollocks, this is going to be on telly. This is going to be on telly, it's going to be on the internet. All my future businesses, when I try and pitch to them, are going to see this, because that's the way it works now. If you go for a job, they check you out online. If you go to get money, they check you out online. And this is all just his worst, I don't know what happened then. His worst fears have all just come true. It went wrong, he got exposed, it's going to be seen on telly. That last little zoom was excellent. Let's see it again. Just look at his face, and you know, he's not asleep. Just imagine what's going through his mind. Check it.
£2.5 million lifeline.
How much are you setting aside in your business plan to market the product so the consumer knows its existence?
And this is what I said right at the beginning. And you will need about 100 mil just to make a dent in one country.
Well, we're setting aside around £500,000 in the...
Really? What's that? Just to get in the door to Ogilvy or something?
First instance to do that, which I know you're going to say is a drop in the ocean.
I would say it's...
No, it is exactly a drop in the ocean. That's a really weird little slip.
£1 million in the first instance to do that, which I know you're going to say is a drop in the ocean.
I would say it's ridiculous. I mean, if you compare that to any other car launch that I've ever come across, you know, the average number is going to be 20 million plus, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, there's only 4 foot between you and I and 2.5 million. You know, don't lose it. I'm itching to give it to you.
I don't know what James Caan is doing here. Maybe he's trying to keep his seat at the Den. I mean, don't forget, they're also playing a part. You know, there's been a lot of dragons over the years, and if you're a little bit rubbish, you soon get shunted on for someone else. Maybe the directors have said to him, you know, you've got to do a bit more. You know, you're just too nice and honest and friendly. You know, this is drama. We want drama, and this could be James Caan actually trying to keep his job. And you know, these people don't need the money that they get from going on Dragon's Den, but they do get the reputation, they do get the celebrity, and they don't want to lose that, and you can't buy that.
I'm itching to give it to you.
He isn't.
I do believe that we can use low-cost marketing techniques, localised marketing. We can use viral marketing techniques to get the message
Stephen,
across.
with all due respect, they are tried and tested thought processes. You know, any company that's got half a brain that has a product to sell understands what you're describing, so I won't be investing some out.
Thank you.
He went from itching to invest to, nah, in about 5 seconds.
James Caan is the fourth dragon to walk away from the deal.
And he has a smug sip of his water, feeling like he created a bit of drama, so he might be sitting in that seat in the next series of Dragon's Den.
Peter Jones is now ready to declare his position.
Who tends to always go last unless he's got something angry to say at the start, because he thinks he's better than everyone in the world.
Yeah, anybody that has got to where you have got to in life, you know, you've got to have some sort of credence behind what you're saying. But I think you're losing sight of reality now. £10 million to create the next great viable electric car that the world is going to want to buy? I can't understand it. And I'm not going to invest in you, and I'm out.
Thank you.
It was a lesson in tough love from the dragons. Stephen walks away without the cash he needs.
What a surprise. I hope you enjoyed that. Yeah, let me know down in the comments. Don't smash nothing, don't buy nothing, don't subscribe. Enjoy your day. Let your family know you love them. It's important. Ta-da!
Sweet.